If you're ambitious but fall into the habit of being lazy, then you need to watch this. If you've always been a big dreamer, envisioned yourself having success, but have somehow always fallen short, then you're probably falling victim to self-sabotage. That's right. You're literally holding yourself back. Like, let that sink in. I know this to be true because I literally did this for 5 years. To the outside world, to my friends, to my family, it looked like I was successful, but truly I didn't feel fulfilled. And I think that's because I wasn't taking aligned action. And I think we all know what aligned action is. It's when you get into that flow state, you're moving towards your goals and you're stretching your comfort zone and basically breaking through that next barrier of yourself. So if we want to start taking aligned action to create that version 2.0 of ourselves, we really need to identify the resistance that holds us back in the first place. And I've broken it down to 3 key areas. Alrighty, so first, breaking down overwhelm. I feel like we've all experienced this. I know I have, where I've looked to, create a new habit that was around improving my focus. So it might be like reading or meditating, which is all great intentions. But the only thing is I'm trying to build these whilst I still have 3 hours of social media use a day where I'm watching short form content, which is completely destroying my focus, but trying to add in these habits to improve my focus. So what I like to do and what I found has really worked for me is first reducing the resistance and the things that are breaking my focus in the first place. So that looks like unfollowing certain accounts, restricting my social media use through a certain app. Can't remember the name, but I'll drop it in the description. It's downloading Chrome browsers that like block ads and all of these sorts of things, so that once I reduce all that, then I have so much more room to then add in new habit that can then improve my focus. Because if you think about it, if you're trying to meditate during the day and then you're going and doing all of these things to then break your focus, they're almost like head to head. It's like you're not going to make any progress by doing that. But if you first reduce, so you make room, and then you add something, you can see how even by reducing, you've already made progress. So if then you add in that habit of meditation or mindfulness, you're so much further ahead than everyone else. Like, that's just the reality of it. Like, it's so much easier to do it that way. So we like to break it down. We like to keep it simple. All right, so breaking down fear, and this one's a little personal for me because I always thought I was a perfectionist, I was a high performer, but really I was just procrastinating doing the task. I would always say, no, I need it to be perfect. I need to have this in place before I activate. And really I would just do nothing and just think, which would make me so tired, but not progress at all. So really I've broken it down and just thought, like, you can break it up into 2 ways of thinking, right? Like, is this moving me closer to my goal, or is this moving me further away from my goal? So if I look at posting a YouTube video, is this moving me closer to my goal? Yes. Or if I look at scrolling on Instagram, is this moving closer to my goal? Probably not. So really when we look at fear and we break it down, really it's just us trying to stay within our comfort zone and stay safe. And that's great if that's what you want to do. Though what I've come to realize is your comfort zone and safety, it doesn't always mean fulfillment. It doesn't always mean growth. It doesn't always mean reaching your potential. And for me, it's so much scarier these days staying in the same place than it is pushing my comfort zone, maybe feeling a little bit of criticism or even just perceived judgment. I would much rather that and to be moving towards my goals than to just do the same thing for another 5 years. So what I've found really helpful is being able to like detach the activity from the emotion. So if I give the example of like cold calling someone, it's quite scary to think about. If I told you, call someone's number, you're going to pitch them a business idea. Like for me, my heart starts racing. I start getting clammy and sweaty. But if I just, told you to pick up your phone, dial a number and call, then that activity itself, like, it's not very scary. It's just the perceived reality of what's on the other side of that. So being able to detach the activity from the emotion, it's simple, but it's not easy to do. So one of my favorite quotes around this is around doing the thing. You've probably heard it before, but it goes like, thinking about doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a plan to do a thing isn't doing the thing. Telling your friend about doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Watching someone that's doing the thing also isn't doing the thing. The only thing that's going to move yourself forward towards your goal is actually doing the thing. I think the best example of this is when we set New Year's goals, and reflecting on some of the goals that I've set and I've just completely dropped. New Year's, we come around, we set all of these grand goals and intentions. Maybe it's income goals, health goals, relationship goals, but we don't actually break down the systems that it takes to get there, or like the habits that we need to create, or the identity we need to form to become the person that can even create that outcome. So what I think about is, if you set a goal and you don't set the system or the habits that you need to implement, then you're actually no better than the person that didn't set a goal at all. In fact, you actually just wasted your time by setting the goal. And that's just real talk, because That was me. So one of my favorite things to learn about is the subconscious mind, because I think it can be such a needle mover in moving towards your goals. And really, like, what it comes down to is your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, and how they create your state of being, your personality, and then ultimately which shapes your personal reality. And the reason that is because they like to form habits and like neural pathways that just make it easier for us to perform tasks that we do all the time. So if you think about it, something like brushing your teeth, you don't even have to consciously think about putting the toothpaste on, about brushing your teeth. Like, you just do it. It's the same as driving a car. So when we start to correlate that to like your thoughts that you're having on a daily basis, it's the exact same thing. Like, you don't have to consciously think about feeling lazy or feeling unworthy. Like, that just becomes a habit and you naturally just gravitate towards that. So this can become your best friend if they're positive emotions and thought, but it also can be your worst enemy and keep you stuck in a rut. So the simplest way I've found to break the habit of being myself ultimately is my inputs. So the books that I'm reading, are they aligned with the goals that I'm working towards? The podcasts that I'm listening to, the type of music I'm listening to, our environment. So digital environment as well. So cleaning up my laptop, cleaning up my phone, my physical environment. One of the examples is Mason and I got rid of our TV 3 years ago. Our family thinks we're nuts and they never come over. But ultimately, like, we didn't want to have a TV in our house because we knew that conscious habit of just sitting down and watching something, it would be too strong to break. So we put books around our house. So naturally we would gravitate towards reading books instead because we have books in our living room instead of a TV. Another thing is your association. And this is probably one of the hardest things, because when you're surrounding yourself by people that think the same way as you do, which we tend to gravitate towards people that think and feel the same way as us because we like to have that shared experience, the shared emotion, it kind of limits your growth. And that's not to say that you have to cut everyone off, but if you want to start surrounding yourself with people that inspire you, that are pushing through their comfort zone as well. So if you want to level up your association and you're an entrepreneur, you're a creative, or you just know that you are meant for more, though you keep falling into the same habits of procrastination, self-doubt, inaction, then you might want to check out version 2.0. It's a community that has been built around taking aligned action, improving your focus, getting clarity around your goals and your mission, and also being around like-minded people that are doing the exact same thing. There's so much power in community, and that's what I've definitely found along my journey. So if you're wanting to find out a little bit more, I'll include a video below that links around the community, the program details. It's going to help you level up and get to your version 2.0.